Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles, where once again we explore something new. Today we're going to look a little bit further into some practical ways that you can actually work with the energy fields that you create throughout the universe. The simplicity will probably surprise you, but in leading up to it, it's necessary that you see the way children actually play, how they make the rules as they go, or they don't make any rules at all, or they throw a rule in the middle when they said there's no rules. This is the area where they start to follow that random feeling of playing in all the worlds that they can feel. So with us, it's a similar thing. It's a matter of playing a little bit more. And you can call it practice if you like. You're practicing how to actually communicate and talk to the energy and the energy fields that you project into the world. It's not like talking to yourself, because there's an underlying language that you actually know. It's a bit like talking to the birds or to the clouds. At times you do get in contact, and it's just that small moment that you're looking for, and you'll start to see that it will pop up every now and then in all sorts of communications that you start to play with. It's a little bit like changing your vision. You think it's impossible because you've had tests and your eyes are old or distorted or whatever. But in fact, if you wait for the image to come to you and be satisfied that it picked up that little moment when it was totally in focus, it will gradually adjust until it's always totally in focus, even if your eyes are damaged. This is not something to practice, it's something that is beyond practice. But the more you do it, the more confidence appears in your being. So the easier it is to accept the impossible. So in accepting the impossible is a normal brain function. And it needs coaxing. It needs a little bit of proof. So you don't aim for proof, you only look at the times when you pick up that small amount of proof, just like when you're waiting for your eyes to actually read that small print, and it happens for a fraction of a second and disappears. That's when you celebrate. You say, I did it. Gradually, there's a part of your system that will adjust all the inputs and outputs so that you can see clearly, even if your eyes don't show correctly through the normal testing means. People walk away from accidents with broken legs, and they just walk. And afterwards, they find out they've got a broken leg and they can't stand up. See that there is something that's beyond what we're used to. And that if we can celebrate that, even if it's the slightest instance, we're starting to get ready to talk to those signals that make that happen. So wouldn't it be great to be able to just communicate with all those freaky things that happen in various times of your life? The fact that you can feel dizzy by spinning around, and you can tell yourself not to be dizzy because you're in a dance competition, shows you have amazing control over every part of you, even the bits that you don't understand. So how you do all that is not recorded. But the coach says, practice, it'll be right. So you practice, and you don't know how it becomes right. So we're about to take you to where you'll know how it comes right, because you actually talk to the controlling functions that relate to every part of your experience. And those controlling functions, most times, are not situated inside your body. They're reflected in your body. So if you want to talk to the energy fields that keep your windows clean, you just see your windows as clean. And if they're not clean in the time you require, you go and demonstrate how you want it. Just a small bit. Gradually, your windows will be clean. I've been doing it for years. There are many things to play with where you can provide solutions to all sorts of things. If you decide that you go to work on the bus at a certain time and it doesn't meet with the other bus you've got to get onto, if you can see a solution rather than complain about it, you watch, it'll gradually change. There'll be another service. Someone will have a great idea and it will be changed. My mother discovered she could do that when she was in the late 80s. And she used to have the time of her life. I said to her, just put it in the big tape recorder in the sky. You don't have to understand how it works. Someone will steal it and it'll happen. Particularly if it's a great idea with everything completed. And so she used to do that instead of writing letters to the government or to the local council. And she got things happening very, very quickly. So it's within your power, even if you don't understand, even if you've never followed what we've all been talking about. You don't have to have a prerequisite. It was with you from childhood. But now we're going to reintroduce it so you can be excited about every day. So you can see that throughout each day, things just run the way they're supposed to run. And quite often, if you try to change them, that you just get bowled over because it's going to happen, whatever it is. So you look at that in a whole different light and you see that everything's running automatically. You've predetermined it to a large extent. So that part is working fine and it will keep you up and going in ways that you haven't looked at yet. You might think, wow, it would have been better if such and such happened. But if you don't do that and you ride the wave, you end up in a better, a better spot than you ever expected. As we attempt to control things, they turn us on our head. But the format of our life has millions and millions of aspects that have not been attended to. we attend to those, and it enhances everything to the level beyond our expectation. And as you can see more and more possibilities, they will come alive. You don't see them in your brain. You see them like a child does. You start the game and then you change the rules if you need to. And if you don't want to change the rules, throw all the rules out. There's only one person playing the game, and that's you. And there are millions and millions of entities out there to make sure that whatever you say happens, providing it doesn't affect anybody else in real terms. It will change their environment. It will change what's happening around them. It'll change your part of life. And it'll give them the opportunity to have a better view of what it's like to have a good life. And at the same time, make it very easy for them to do that. Not by following you, but by following themselves. So what we're about to do is actually connect with some of the energies around us and push them outside the house, into the garden, and feel them encouraged by the energies that are outside of your formal environment. So if you just push those out there, you'll feel a little bit of a buzz. You'll feel some excitement. You'll feel a difference. And you can be laying down, sitting up, walking around, anything. Just push them out and give them an experience of the world that you know is there. And say, okay, let's make it alive. And you'll feel your energy rise, and you'll start to liven up everything around you. The plants will grow better. Things won't collapse on you. Everything will just start to roll along with a better format. And all you did was say, righto, energies out there, do what you've got to do. You didn't say what to do. That's the difference. You've made a gift to another set of dimensions that live outside your house, that support the birds, all the animals, the fairies, all those things. And you've made a gift of your energy and said, go for it. Let's enhance everything. That's your first example. And I don't have to tell you anything about what it will do. As you walk around, you'll feel it. You'll feel the change. You'll feel everything that you know calling on you to speak, to communicate. And you'll start to talk to the birds, to the clouds, to the trees, in whatever way comes to you. And they'll talk to you in whatever way comes to them. And the dance happens almost immediately. We're all ready to have more of this world. And we do it by using the universal fields that come from us and support the world. I've mentioned before, if you put a little bit of dye in the water, it just changes the color of the water. And you can't extract the dye, it's all changed. Even if you filter it, you don't get the fresh water back unless you take it through a separation process that is very, very complex. Every part of us goes into the world and it's not separated. It appears everywhere. It's like the smell of garlic. If you mix it up and heat it, it appears right throughout your house and you don't know how it got there. Because its field is regenerated in your field and sent to wherever you reside. There are many different minerals that we replicate in our field. But that is a complexity that we don't need to worry about. We just play with it and enjoy the results. We play with the fact that someone can sit near us and they feel better. Or if they give you a call, it's not what you say, it's what comes into their field, excuse me. So we're talking more of beyond technology than what most people are used to. Some people are used to programming themselves so that they have the right thought over and over and over. It's not like that. It's got nothing to do with thought. It's only to do with the instantaneous, simple projection of something different into your field with an expectation that that will be better. And it has nothing to do with directing specific movements, specific statements or thoughts, or being good or bad or whatever. Like when you have an accident, it happens automatically that you're projected into that world of your creator that looks after everything. Even if you don't make it through, you know that in that instant, you're perfectly looked after. You mightn't look that way from the outside, but from the inside, you don't hurt until well after the event. So it's the mind operation that is slow that makes us suffer. The fast operation of all the things that can repair us instantly is what we're going to work with. So the instant you send something out, you know it's returned. It's confirmed. It's okay. That's why you know what to do. That's why you know if you move the right way. You start to move and you go, oh no. And you can respond quicker through all your inputs and outputs than you can even blink your eye. So when you're going to help somebody or something, the simplest thing is what works. Because the simplest thing requires the fastest response by the universe. That's why a child feels so safe. They come into the world, it's totally foreign. They have no knowledge of all the things we do, but they're totally happy. They respond to the fact they need something to eat, and they respond to the signals that are coming to them all the time. And you may not know that there's a relative speaking to that child, or someone that they met along the way in another life, or in the areas where we cannot record from this dimension. But you know that when you go to sleep, you go into all sorts of different places. And people have been trying to control what that means for a long time. But you can't control the greater by the lesser, unless you're human and you use the universal interfaces that are creating magic every minute. It may sound complex, but the only complexity is it's so simple you cannot follow it, neither can I. It's so simple. If I say walk, you just walk. But if I say, now, I want you to put your foot out in front of you and I want you to move your weight forward, you'll fall over. Because the complexity of walking has been made simple. So if we describe everything, it doesn't work. If we analyze everything, it's like walking slow behind someone. You wear yourself out because you don't have the rhythm that enables you to switch on the simplicity. Every action has a simple form. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. So now that we've found we can actually send our energies out into the yard or into the trees or up the road or across the other side of the world, we should play with it. And we should play games and just see what we get back without knowing the rules, without caring, because it can't go wrong. It only works in enhanced mode. It doesn't allow opposition, just turns off. So nothing works with a plan. It works with a random flow that doesn't even come from your heart. It comes from that thing that's dancing around inside you. That music that's bouncing around everywhere. The thing that you call madness, mischief, all the things that you knew about when you were a child, and it's still there. And it's still running around waiting for any moment to burst out and switch everything on. You've looked at what it does to you, to your being, but now it's time to look at what it does to the rest of the world and how easy it is to flutter your eyes and watch a crowd go wild. How easy it is to just project something that impresses everyone. How easy it is to be in contact with someone, but also so separate that you're enhancing one another like a catalyst. So in conversation with one another, you can brighten things, you can lower things by just changing that vibration. In conversation with the world, you can change things by brightening the vibration of everything and anything you come across. And the things you don't come across that you just like to play with. while we keep reporting problems, we can't report the beauty, because we don't think beauty is there if there's problems. In your life, turn off all the TVs and the news, the gossip columns, and there's nothing wrong. You sometimes have to turn your brain off as well, but that's not necessary when you're living on top of the wave, because it's busy keeping you in balance, keeping everything flowing properly, and doing its utmost to service you in every way. And it doesn't get off track. It doesn't get funny thoughts, because you're in contact with the random fields that lead you to the most unusual places, where you can just slip through a hole and be safe, where you can see something that nobody else can see, where you can walk up to the hole in the fence and look through at another world. So out of all this, we can see that it's a little bit off as far as our brain goes. But we've made friends with that by saying, I love to explore. I love to see what happens. And the simpler it is, the better. And you've made friends with yourself forever. So that's one of the greatest things about the big program I call simplicity. The one that can talk to your supercomputer, the one that can talk into the world, and the one that can translate for you any interface you want with anything at any time. And the fact that we've all experienced it at some time or another shows us, wow, it is there, it is available. And it is miles, miles, miles bigger than what we experience in our everyday life. So now we're going to make it our everyday life. And even if you have to put a little marker on your calendar and say, today I'm going to play. I'm going to make up a game, just like the kids do. I'm not going to tell anybody. And I guarantee you'll walk around with a smile on your face that whole day. And you'll go to bed totally elated and be wondering why you haven't marked every day to do the same. So every part of you starts to perform properly. And you forget about whether your body's in good condition or not. It looks after itself, because you're playing games with the fields that are generated by your body that make your body run perfectly. The only reason your body's not running perfectly, it's turned off. You're not generating all the things you're supposed to generate, which are exciting, brilliant, and way, way beyond technology. So as we get to that point of having lots of fun, you'll find you don't actually think about anybody. You're with everybody. And as you meet people, it's just like, oh, hello. They've been there all the time. You'll find you're totally connected to everyone and everything, to the extent that you don't notice that they're not in your house. And eventually, the communication system between us will come alive again, where we know, we talk, we interact, we send energies to one another, and we don't need the phone. So that's what you can look forward to. And remember, as you feel yourself walking along like a fairy, light and brisk and gentle, exuberant, you'll understand that it didn't come from anywhere. It was there all the time. So that's why each one of you can say to one another, I offer you a perfect life, perfect health, and a very, very magic future. Thank you.